Plaza Midwood may be Charlotte's most character-filled neighborhood, but buying here means paying a serious premium for smaller lots, older homes, and walkability. So is it actually worth it? Today, I'm showing you what it's like to live here, what homes actually cost, where locals eat and drink, and the trade-offs you should know before buying. I'm Taylor Marino, owner and realtor with Maestro Realty Group and principal clarinet with your Charlotte Symphony Orchestra. I grew up in Charlotte, and on this channel I break down city neighborhood by neighborhood, what it feels like, what housing costs are, and the trade-offs you should understand before buying. Let's start with where we actually are. Plaza Midwood sits just northeast of Uptown. Now, neighborhood boundaries aren't legal property lines, and people use the name loosely, but the neighborhood association generally draws it as Hawthorne Lane to the west, Central Avenue to the south, Plaza and Parkwood Avenue to the north, Masonic Street and Matheson Avenue rounding out the southeast and northeast corners. The commercial heart also spills into Commonwealth, Morningside, and the blocks around it. You're close to Uptown with quick access to major roads, but how long the drive actually takes depends a lot during the time of day. There's no light rail station inside of the neighborhood itself. The closest Blue Line stops are Parkwood and 25th, but CATS service bus lines run along the corridors like Central Ave. Plaza Midwood got its start in the early 1900s as one of Charlotte's streetcar suburbs. Most of what you see today took shape in the 1910s and 20s. You can still feel these bones in the porches, mature trees, the sidewalks, and the tight little street grid. The best known historic streets are the Plaza, Thomas Ave, we are now, Nassau Boulevard, Clement Avenue, Belvedere Avenue, but this isn't a neighborhood frozen in time. You'll see a historic bungalow next to brand new infill, a mural next to an old storefront, a mix of music venues, restaurants, breweries, all woven together. It feels urban but not high-rise, and which block you're on matters a lot. Central Ave and the Plaza bring activity, traffic, nightlife. Walk one block off either, and suddenly it's quiet. To understand why it feels this way today, it helps know where it came from. Plaza Midwood didn't come from one master plan. It grew out of several early subdivisions, which is part of why you see such a mix in the architectural styles. It thrived as a streetcar suburb through the mid-20th century, then went through a rough stretch of disinvestment, and at one point even faced threats from major road projects. Residents pushed back in the 1970s, and Plaza Midwood Neighborhood Association formed in 1975. Part of the neighborhood became a Charlotte Local Historic District in 1992. That doesn't cover every property here, but inside that district, exterior changes, new construction, and some site work need approval from the Historic District Commission. That's different entirely from an HOA, but worth keeping those two straight. Now, let's get into the part everybody actually clicked on. What does it cost to live here? Here's where we separate reputation from the actual numbers. As of this video, July 2026, snapshot, single-family homes are running a median in the low 900,000. Townhomes, low 700,000s, condos around 500,000. These are rounded figures, not a promise on any specific property. It's a small market. One or two unusual sales can shift that median price a lot, so you can't exactly know where to draw the boundary line. But what does that premium buy you? It's location, character, proximity to Uptown, not square footage. You'll find everything from 20s to 40s bungalows, mid-century, fully renovated historics, brand new construction, single family, townhomes, condos, all around Central and Commonwealth. And compared to a Charlotte suburb, you can expect smaller lot, no guaranteed garages, street parking is very important, and a lot of these older homes have additions or are stacked from different additions through several eras. The thing people assume wrong is that there's no HOA anywhere here. Plenty of the detached homes really don't have one, but the condos and the townhomes and some of the newer communities do. The neighborhood association itself is voluntary. That's different. And if your home is inside the historic district, it's the Historic District Commission, not an HOA, that signs off on the exterior changes. On taxes, they're based on assessed value, and the rates shift every year at the city and the county level. So I'm not going to bake those numbers into a video. You can drop a comment if you want more details below. At the time I filmed this, single-family homes here are moving fast. The median days on market is close to 9 to 11 days. For condos and townhomes, it takes longer, closer to a month, but that gap alone tells you how competitive the detached single-family house market is now. So what does your money actually buy? Condos and townhomes typically start in the mid-300s and run into the 600s or higher, depending on the size, the age, and the fees. Within condos specifically, bedroom count matters a lot. One bedrooms are running a median of around $270,500, two bedrooms around $475,000, and three bedrooms around $590,000. But treat those as starting points, not a rule. Size, square footage, condition, the exact location within the neighborhood can move any of those numbers down quite a bit. A smaller bungalow or older detached home usually starts around $600,000 and can climb into the low seven figures. Renovation level and lot matter a lot here. And for larger, fully renovated or new construction homes, you're typically looking at $1.3 to $2 million or more. Treat all this as a snapshot, not a guarantee. Inventory here moves constantly. All right, let's talk about what you're actually paying for beyond the house itself. The Central and Commonwealth corridor might be the easiest part in Charlotte to build a whole night out without ever moving your car. You've got institutions here that have been here for years, and a steady stream of new spots opening up around them. For food, Midwood Smokehouse, Calais Soul, The Diamond, Kayana for Mexican, Emmy Squared for Detroit-style pizza, Moo and Brew for burgers, and Snooze for brunch. Breweries, we have Resident Culture, Legion, Pilot, and Burial, all award-winning breweries. Live music, we have Snug Harbor, Petra's The Rabbit Hole, and Thirsty Beaver. The Thirsty Beaver is honestly the clearest symbol of old Plaza Midwood meeting new Plaza Midwood. When developers assembled the surrounding land, the property owner refused to sell the 281-unit Central Avenue apartment building, which was constructed in a U shape around the bar. It's still standing, and it sits right in the middle of it. Midwood Park gives you great green space, playgrounds, courts, a community garden, and regular events. Harris Teeter covers everyday grocery runs, and the Plaza Midwood Social District lets you carry a drink from participating businesses within its boundaries and hours. For shopping, we have Betty by Moxie Mercantile. It's a chic little boutique with curated feminine fashion and timeless accessories. And if you want something different for a night out, Pin House pairs duck pin bowling with 70 self-pour taps in a fun 1920s Gatsby-style space. One honest caveat, I'd call the commercial core walkable. I wouldn't call the whole neighborhood car-free. It really depends on the block. And yes, nightlife here means weekends, parking gets tight, and there's some noise. Since we're already talking about going out, I want to show you my personal side of this neighborhood. I think dining, wine bars, cocktail lounges, and nightlife say a lot about a neighborhood and where it's headed. I love exploring restaurants, and I'm also a wine enthusiast, a certified sommelier with a Court of Master Sommeliers. So here's some of my honest, favorite, unsponsored picks. Full night out, dinner, Supperland is a signature experience. It's inside a restored mid-century church. And honestly, the setting is as memorable as the food. Very thoughtful wine list, great sommelier and staff, and a separate cocktail bar, plus a private wine room downstairs and a reservation-only speakeasy tucked underneath. If you want nightlife that still takes food seriously, Workman's Friend is the one. It's an Irish pub on Central Ave with a patio, looking right over all the action, and a cozy indoor room with a working fireplace. Their Sunday brunch also has a real following. For something quick and affordable, Akahana on the Plaza is one of our favorites. They run a buy one, get one sushi roll every single day, and it's genuinely good sushi. For something more casual, I love Bohemian Wine Bar on Pecan Avenue. Has a really fun, diverse wine list, cheese and charcuterie, flatbread, and a patio that you can settle in for a couple hours. There's also a newer spot on the Plaza that we've all really come to love, Mezzo Market. It's part market, part wine bar, part restaurant with a Mediterranean leaning menu, a full bar that pours well-chosen wine lists, and live music on the patio on Saturday nights. One of the newest additions, just as of filming this, right behind me is Uchi, the Japanese restaurant from the James Beard award-winning chef Tyson Cole. It's inside Commonwealth, the development at Central and Commonwealth Ave that took a century-old manufacturing building that dates back to 1912 and fully restored it alongside new construction that now includes offices, retail, and hundreds of residents. It's behind me right now. Uchi opened on March 31st of this year, and its sister concept, Uchiba, opened upstairs a few days later. That's more of a casual feel, a serious beverage program, and a patio with skyline views of Uptown. That mix old institutions, brand new arrivals, and places where the drink program is actually part of the experience, it's a big reason the neighborhood keeps pulling people back. Okay, let's shift to something every single person considering this neighborhood asks me about. For reference, schools commonly assigned to Plaza Midwood addresses are Shamrock Gardens Elementary, Eastway Middle, and Garinger High. But assignments vary by exact address, so always run them through the specific property through CMS's Find My Assigned School tool, and check it against that tool before you make a decision. CMS also has a magnet and other program choice options. Charter schools are separate with their own application process, and Trinity Episcopal in Uptown is a well-known private kindergarten through 8th grade option nearby. School quality means something different to every family, and here's where it actually lives. Start with the official North Carolina school report cards. Use something like Great Schools as one more data point, and visit in person when you can. Now let's talk about what's actually changing here, because this neighborhood isn't standing still. The biggest visible change right now is Commonwealth. It combines the historic buildings with new offices, retail, restaurants where we are now, and 383 residences. And there's a second phase already in planning, so this area is still evolving. There's also a pending rezoning request covering about 21 acres between 1100 Hawthorne Lane between Hawthorne Central and Pecan. As of this filming in July of 2026, the hearing and the decision are still pending. And pending doesn't mean approved. I can link the city's rezoning page, or you can DM a comment in the bottom to ask about more information. So with all that in mind, here's my honest take. What this neighborhood does exceptionally well is combine proximity to uptown with a real sense of place. Historic housing, mature trees, independent businesses, live music, restaurants. This is a neighborhood people actually identify with, not just a collection of subdivisions. Now the trade-off, you're paying urban core prices for less land. As we said, parking can be tight. Walkability, it does vary a lot block to block, and there's no rail stop inside the neighborhood itself. And because so much of this housing is decades old, take inspections seriously. Electrical, plumbing, foundation, drainage, and the quality of whatever renovations happened before you got in the house. Growth cuts both ways too. New development brings restaurants, housing, and investment, but also construction, traffic, and real pressure on long-time businesses. Flood risk is parcel specific, especially near the creeks, so check with Mecklenburg County and FEMA maps yourself or with me, rather than assuming the whole neighborhood is in the clear. So who does all this actually make sense for? This neighborhood tends to appeal to buyers who care more about character, proximity, active neighborhood core than they do about big yard or maximum square footage. For comparison, Noda has a stronger light rail connection, more of an industrial arts district feel. Elizabeth generally quieter, more traditional. Villa Heights is more residential spots, but is also changing fast. Pricing shifts constantly between all of these. So look at current MLS data yourself or have me pull it, rather than trusting anyone who tells you that this one area is permanently cheaper than another. If I had to sum it up, Plaza Midwood is one of Charlotte's neighborhoods with the clearest identity, period. You pay premium for location, the history, the food, the music, the energy, and in return, you accept these smaller lots and older housing, but more activity outside your front door. If that trade-off sounds right to you, this belongs near the top of your Charlotte list. Drop a comment below and let me know which neighborhood I should tour next. I'm working through this city block by block, so subscribe if you don't want to miss it. And if you're actually thinking about a move to Charlotte, I help with exactly this all the time. Reach out below, I'll send you my relocation guide, follow the Maestro, and I'll see you at the Symphony.